It is Tuesday, January 26, 2021. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Tai Chi. This is the advanced class. We did beginning class yesterday. I'm here for the advanced section this morning. Alright, and today we're going to work on two things. Legs, okay, and we're also going to pay attention, and I'm going to review a little bit. We're going to focus on the inner and outer connections. As we're practicing, these are things that we should be paying attention. If you're practicing at advanced level, you should be paying attention to this, right? If you're not, then let me make you aware. Alright, so leg work, as I have talked about repeatedly, is important. As we are practicing, particularly at the more advanced level, the idea of connecting through the entire body, again, part of today's session, using the leg and extending through the upper body is something that we absolutely must be able to do. It's part of the exercise. Alright, we pay attention to it when we're getting started, only to the level that, you have to put your foot there and you're going to transfer your weight and you're going to move through. There's a bit more to it. And as we move from that beginning level to more advanced work, it's necessary to pay attention. Beginning level doesn't intentionally leave out these things. It's that if you don't have the foundation principles, you can't apply the more advanced ones. It's not going to be there. I have met people who have been able to talk a really good game about, all of these, this is Tai Chi, I've read these books and how long have you practiced? Oh, no, I don't practice. I just read a lot of books. So your understanding of the principles and how to apply them is secondhand? No. If you're going to practice. If you want to read, I encourage people to read. I've read a lot of books. I have a whole library of books. Not in this room, but I have an entire library of books. Some of which are in Mandarin, or in Chinese, simplified characters, that are highly valuable. But if you're not combining that study with some level of practice, how do you ever fully understand the principles behind the art? If you never practice it, how can you fully understand the art? In my estimation, you can't. You have to practice. You have to get up and do something. Put the coffee down, we'll do something. Alright, so this notion of leg work and how does the body work together, this whole connection piece, as well as this idea that if we're going to understand the philosophy fully, as it relates to this particular art, we have to practice it. The two work together. Alright, so the leg work for Tai Chi. We start out, and I talked about this yesterday in beginning class, I'm going to talk about it again. We start out here. Feet about shoulder width apart, not too wide, not too narrow. Nice comfortable stance so the legs drop straight out of the hip. Very comfortable. Shoulders are down and relaxed, hands down at the sides, heads pulled up. This is a practice stance that we can use to do a number of different things with Tai Chi, including this idea of connecting inside and outside. As we move into other exercises, for instance, a little bit wider than shoulder width, do this with me, a little bit wider than shoulder width, sink into a kind of a half horse stance, and knees circle around the toe. Do not let your knee go outside or inside of your toe. Your knee stays over the toe. I don't care how low you're going, your knee stays over the toe. Circle, open the hip. I told you leg work this morning, all right? This is like circle, circle. It's figure 8. Extends through the hip. Keep the upper body centered. We're working the lower body. And I talked about that this morning too. Connections between. Right now we're focused on the lower body. Sink into the hip. Use the leg. Open through the hip. Let the extending leg, this one in this case, drive the motion to the other leg. This is that hourglass. As we're practicing, I'm using my hands to demonstrate, as we're practicing Tai Chi. So don't do the hands. As we're practicing Tai Chi, we want this idea of gradually transferring the weight from one place, from one leg to another, so that it's smooth and continuous, and each leg empties and the other one fills. All right, relax. Each leg empties and the other one fills as we move through whatever it is we're doing. Standing still, it's easier to do this than it is moving. We're going to do this moving. I'm going to start down here. So, sideways here. Hands behind your back. Leg work. We're doing legs. Focus on the legs. Sink. Pay attention to pushing into the receiving leg. Right? Push into the receiving leg and push from the extending leg. Neither leg gets to relax. The energy transfer is what we're paying attention to. It's that, again, that hourglass where you're turning it over and you start to see the sands come out. That change from one to another through, not abruptly, is what we're going for. It's not here and here. It's here and here. Hands behind your back. Feet can be a little bit wider than shoulder width. I'm going to be working this a little bit more, so we're going to go a little bit lower if you would, please. Open the leg. Transfer through. Push. Push with this back leg. Push. Return. As you return, push into the receiving leg to open. Push through. Sink. Push. I'm going to take one step, go this way. Yeah, I got room for that. All right. Set, open, in. As as you move through, set this leg. There's a lot going on here, a lot of energy here. Open this as I push through here. Push. Push and resist. Back leg pushes forward, front leg pushes back. Inside pushes out, outside pushes in. Front pushes back, back pushes front. Everything sinks. Yeah, there's a lot going on. As you step through, use the hip. What are we just doing here? Use it. One more time. Shift, open, step through. All right. This type of practice, very, very useful for balance, placement, and working your ability to travel. If you're not taking your body with you, right? You're leaving something behind. Usually it's the back. Usually it's back here. Leaving this behind as I step forward. It's really hard to move. These sets. Left leg front, right leg back. Same exercise, Taiji set. So Taiji stance, forward stance. Same as what we were just doing. Except that now we're going to do this circle instead of a lateral circle. Okay, so out to the outside, front knee around the toes, transfer to the back, sink, transfer around again, figure eight. All right, so put your hands somewhere. We're still working the legs, and we're going to change the other leg in a minute. So as we are working through our stepping practice, right, one of the things to pay attention to is this idea I just talked about, opening the hip. If the hip isn't open and the hip isn't working, the leg can't move, right? Can't do this. All right? So we want to work the whole leg. Leg doesn't stop where my sweater stops. My leg's up here. All right? This is not where my hip joins my leg. My hip joins my leg up here. We have to open that. And the more we practice, stand straight, change feet. The more we practice to open the hip, the stronger it gets, the more we pay attention to using the legs, okay? Because in order to do these sets, the muscle underneath has to hold. There is no other option. You cannot do this if you're only holding the front part of the leg. It don't work. Sorry. I tried. Years ago I tried. It doesn't work. All right. Relax for a minute. All right. So as we're moving, again, as we're moving through whatever the stepping method is, we need to be paying attention. Sun's coming up. We need to be paying attention to what we're doing in the hip, because that's partly where the step comes from, right? You know, we think about it when we're doing something that requires a leg extension, right? So the leg goes up at whatever level it goes up, and we think about, okay, now I need to open my hips so my leg will go up. But you need to go open the hips so the leg will go, so your body can go down too. It's just, I'm gonna get a sip of coffee. Hang on. Okay, so let's work on a little example of the idea of the leg going up versus going down. So this is a basic set. This is not a Tai Chi set. This is standard. If you saw a group of pretty much any traditional martial arts school anywhere practicing basic sets, this is one of them. All right. Feet about shoulder width apart. Hands open to both sides. And you're going to step forward with the left and bring the right up to your shoulder, or as close thereto as possible. I'm going to do this again, facing this. We'll do a couple of rounds here. So the arms are straight out, shoulders down, palms press out, and keep everything up here straight. The back doesn't go anywhere. This is again not Tai Chi. We're separating. We want to open the hip and separate the leg. Okay? So from here, I'm going to step forward with my left. Right's going to come up. Flex the heel. What I want is my heel to come up over my shoulder here, right up by my ear. It's not going to happen, but that's what I'm going for. So for me, I'm about yay high. It's not bad. The way to work this is to drop the hip open. What we're just doing, open the hip, pull in, especially hard on the side of the leg that you're lifting. And sink the leg down into the hip so you can bring it toward you. In this case, for this exercise, you're not trying to send the leg out. Okay, and this is going to go to the inside-outside piece in a minute. You're not trying to send the leg out. You want to bring it up. Okay, so close the leg to the body versus send the leg out. This exercise, close the leg to the body. How flexible is your hip? How flexible is your how flexible is your lower back in being able to allow for that extension, right? How strong is your back and how well supported? How much tensile strength do you have in your back, in your spine, and the upper back and lower back muscles? How much tensile strength do you have there to support that extension? That's what gives it to you. So as you're working on this, again, and I'm going to compare this in a minute. This goes up. You want to think about your hip moving in the same way that my elbow is moving right now, and yes, it is possible. As anybody who has studied classical ballet for a couple of years and has achieved a decent turnout and a decent extension, entire room can do this. Everybody in the room. All right, this is I'm lagging behind here. I'm older, so I get to do that. But anybody knows how to do this. All right. This time we're going to step with the right and come up with the left. Hands out. Step right, left up. Step right again, and left again. Turn around. Stay on the right side. Step right, up with the left. Step right, up with the left. Turn around, do it again. Still on the right. Right, left, right, left. Last time. Right, left, right, left. Other side. Step left, right, right. Turn around. Step left, right. Step left, right, yeah, double step. Turn around. Step left, right. Step left, right. Turn around last time. Step left, right. Step left, right. Hold. A little bit of work. A little bit. I'm nicely warmed up now. Alright. Sip of coffee. It will get you started, for sure. This type of exercise, again, I mentioned, this is something that is one of several leg sets that I originally learned from my Thai teacher, Huang Wei Lun. I've seen it in Shaolin sets, I've seen it in other Tai Chi systems, I've seen it as this is a pervasive exercise that is fundamental, pretty much in some form or another, in every system that I've seen. Doesn't matter. External, internal, everybody has a version of this. It's basic. Now, principles behind, and I was talking about this just a minute ago with the idea that for this particular exercise, the goal, and we're going to do this in a second, the goal was to fold, right? So your, excuse me, your effort is to bring the leg up. This is the hip, bring the leg up and fold it. We're going to do a different exercise now. This is bring the leg up and send it out. Okay, and we're going to use basic. Again, this is basic. We have this in Tai Chi. It's pervasive. It's a basic front kick. All right. So leg comes up and it goes out. Bring up. So bring up the leg. The height of the knee determines where the foot's going to go. The strength and the support that you have in your lower back determines how high your leg will go. That strength in the lower back is supported through your abdomen all the way across the front and the lower part of the in the lower part where the hips, where you've got, here's my hips, all the way across here. If this isn't holding when I extend the leg, I might create a problem for myself in my lower back or my hip. I don't want to do that. All of this needs to hold. This supports this. Both pull together. The hip opens and the leg goes out. If you're in balance, and you should be, when the leg goes out, you can bring it back. We want to be able to do this, right? This is part of how we are going to, or how we should be paying attention to the control that we are able to achieve through these exercises, right? It's not a matter of, okay, I can do that really fast. Oop-de-doo. Can you bring it back and put it back where it was, neat and tidy, and make it clean? That's more important. At least to me it is. So, let's try a couple of times. Right side, left side. Hands behind your back. And we're going to step. Okay. So feet can be a little bit closer together. We're going to step left and extend right. Okay? Before, we did a step left. I'm going to bring the leg up. This time, the leg's going out. Step left, right, left, right, turn around. Step left, right, step left, right, turn around. Step right, left, turn, change it. Step right, left, turn around. Right, left. Stop for a minute. This comparison, right? I'm going to move into a little bit more of the upper body and this connection thing. This comparison gives us part of what we should be paying attention to. Again, this is advanced Tai Chi class. Gives us part of what we should be paying attention to as we do any movement. What's my intent? What am I trying to do? I can take my leg up with the intent to extend it out. I can take my leg up with the intent to bring it toward me. Both have value in application as well as in our practice. So that intent is one of the inner connections. My intent, what do I want to do? What am I trying to do? What do I wish to accomplish? What's my goal here? Why am I doing anything? why am I doing anything? What am I doing? Okay, is the intent. We have in Tai Chi the idea that if my opponent does nothing, I do nothing. If my opponent moves, I move first. I don't need to do any, if my opponent's not doing anything, I don't need to do anything. Why should I? But if I see the intent, should I not be prepared? My intent, again, raise a leg, extend the leg. As we go through any of the movements in Tai Chi, whatever form you're practicing, we have this idea of intent that goes behind. The mind directs the chi, the intent provides the mind with a purpose to direct the chi. The breath connects the chi with the body, and if the body is well connected within itself, the intent is expressed. It's this part's connected to this part's connected to this part's connected to this part. What do I want to do? Back to this horse stance again. Circles. Add the arms. And I want to see this circle for right now. Right? We could do this circle. We could do this circle. I want to see this one. Basic covering the torso and just to the top of the head. Keep the elbow down. Pay attention to Peng Ji Luan. Peng Ji Luan. Ward off, press, pull down, push. Pay attention. as we're practicing this idea of connecting the body, we're just doing the legs before, now you got to work the hands. Hands with the feet, elbows with the knees, shoulders with the hips, upper body, connect to the lower body through the waist. All parts move, everything's moving together. Sink more. Keep the body upright, open the hip. Alright, relax. These outer connections, this whole series that I just called out, these are the outer connections. We're paying attention to the physiology, our physical body, and how those body parts work together to create the movement. Stand alongside, feet a bit wider, back down in the horse stance. Same set, except you're going to be able to see what happens with my back. Alright? There's a lot of work going on, but my back is fully supported and is able to stay straight. Know this, right? Know this. Neither one of those is any good. Both of those put the weight into the knee. Not where you want it. Don't do it. You'll hurt your knee. This part of the leg has to hold. This supports the knee. If this isn't holding well, you're putting too much strain on the knee and the knee won't take it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Pull up here. Hold and support here. So all this is doing is pulling in and up. This is not supporting your weight. The weight's here and here. If you adjust the way that you manage your weight, there are a number of other things, side benefits, that come up from being able to do that. One of them is what you're seeing me do today. Hi, here I am. You're seeing me do this. And if I had not learned how to do some of these things, none of the nice certificates and things that I have, nor would I be able to stand here and do these things today. It's part of knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, and continuing practice. The only way to maintain your level at all is to practice. You practice for 20 years, 6 times a week, and then you lay off for 10 years, you're going to lose it. 10 years, 6 days a week, and then you cut back and now you're going to do 4 days a week. Good. You can maintain. And if you decide later you want to pick that up, you can. If you stop, you have to recover whatever it was. I'm going through that process now. There are some things that I have continually practiced for 50 years. There are other things that I have practiced off and on over those 50 years. I want to do some things that are going to include some of these things that I've done off and on, so I need to recover them. That's part of what I'm doing here. All right, this idea, again, I'm going to ask you to do this with me. This idea that we have inside, and I've only so far have spoken about intent. We also need to pay attention to the energy and the spirit. Today, we're paying attention to intent, mind, breath, chi, and the physical body. What does my physical body need to do in order to allow my intent? And I use this word a lot, and I'm going to talk about it for a second. What does my physical body need to do to allow my intent to do whatever it is? How do I cooperate with what I'm thinking? Right? This concept of allowing your body to do what you want. In Tai Chi, if we try to do something, the chances are very good that we will stop ourselves from doing what we wanted to do. When we try to do something, the chances are very good that we will stop ourselves doing whatever it is we're trying to do. If I try really hard to bring my leg up and to kick, to do what I just did. If you try really hard to do what I just did and you're not the same level, it ain't going to happen. What will happen is your muscles will tense up and there'll be this physical effort that goes into it, and while you're doing that physical effort, all the muscles will be tensed up, and when the muscles are tensed up, you can't extend the energy through anything. It's putting a rock. You might get a little bit of flow around it, but there's a rock there. Opening the body, extending the body, using the natural alignment of the body, building the tensile strength of pulling the muscles into the bone, gives us the ability to allow the movement to happen. It's I want to do this. Go do it. It's done. Try it with me. Extend the leg, minimal, take away as much of the effort, tense effort as you can. Take the leg to whatever height is comfortable. So anywhere from 45 to 90-ish, right? A little bit higher is fine. It's not, we're not going for head height up here. We're right in here someplace. It wants to be comfortable. We're going for this range. Okay, this is your natural range. This and below is your natural range for the leg. So, right around in here. Pay attention before you move to the intent behind what you're doing. Feet together. I'm going to step with the left, extend the right. The heel is going to, the knee is going to come up. The heel will extend, and then I'm going to bring my foot back. That's my intent. I also intend to do this with minimal physical strength and minimal energy. Again, I haven't talked about that, but that's my intent. Step, extend, bring it back. Step, extend, bring it back. Turn around, go the other side. Step to the right, extend the left. Same idea. My intent, raise the leg, bring the knee up, extend the foot. I called out this idea of minimal energy. Talked about that briefly. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more right now. Jing, Taiji, is something that most Taiji practitioners have heard of. Oh, Fajing, Fajing! Yeah, everybody's sending out some energy, right? There is that. It is something that we do. It is something that we practice. It's something that we need to pay attention to. There are different types of energy that we need to pay attention to. Sending out the energy, Fajing, is what is most commonly seen and what is easiest to compare to some of the, what I would call the hard-hitting systems. Some of the Shaolin as well as some of the traditional Japanese and Korean arts. They hit hard. That's what they train for. That's what they do. All right. In Tai Chi, we don't do that. We're not looking to be so much hard as a flexible conduit for the energy that we can send out. Okay. So as we're doing this, I talked about work through a set, and I'm going to just watch for a second. Talked about work through a set with minimal energy, right? So I'm going to step with the left and up with the right. My intent remains the same. This one to what I'm about to do. The difference is the energy that I bring to doing the movement and the intent behind it. So step left, and I'm going to go with the right. A little bit more energy. If there was a heavy bag there, it might have moved a little bit. The first one, not so much. The second one, depends on if I got my spacing right. Okay? It matters. So this idea, what's the intent behind my move? What am I trying to do? What's my goal? What am I thinking about? It's not my target. Unless I'm engaged, it's not my target. In practice, for me, it's not my target. I don't think about there's something here. I think about how I am using my energy in my practice. It's mine. I'm not giving it away. I'm gonna give it to y'all. I'm here teaching, but I'm not mine. Right? And this is something that we do want to pay attention to. That the idea that as I'm developing these skills, I'm developing my ability to work with my own energy. That I can be and should be conscious of what am I doing with it. In my classes, I talk about the idea that as my previous in-person classes, I should say, I talked about this idea that as we're practicing, we bring out things, we bring up things that are useful to us in our daily life and that are beneficial to us in our daily life, but that we don't want to have all the time. It's available. So It's like putting your toys away. At the end of practice, you say, all right, now I've brought these things out and I've practiced them and I've paid attention to them, and now I'm going to put my toys away and go on and do something else. So for today's practice, we covered a bit of leg work, this figure 8. Now I'm going to turn around and go to the side. It's figure 8, back stays straight, knees can bend more or less, you know, up and down, right? Whatever level you're at. This does go all the way to the floor if you want to keep going down. There's an option for that. I'm going to work on that tomorrow. Alright? So but back stays straight. It's support through the legs and the torso. This is all connected. Knees over the toes, shoulders over the hips, elbows with the knees, hands with the feet, upper body, lower body. Everything's all connected as we're moving. These connections on the outside combine with the connections on the inside. This idea of the breath connected with the chi, directed by the mind, combined with the intent, using energy, and we'll talk about spirit another time, to complete whatever the movement is. These principles apply no matter what style, no matter which practice you're learning, no matter what you're trying to work with. If your hips aren't open, there's low work you won't be able to do, and there's high work you won't be able to do. Your body will not move as well as it might. Open the hip. The legs don't stop here. Legs are up here. Right? This is the middle of my thigh. My legs extend up here. This idea is something that we have to get used to, we have to pay attention to, and in this group, advanced, you should already know about this. If you don't, it's a reminder. Keeping the body well positioned and supported gives us the ability to go up and down. Using the internal work combined with allowing the body, not tensing, allowing the body to complete the movement. We have to be able to, we have to know the shape of the movement, we have to know what's going on with the movement, we have to understand the physiology behind it, and then we can drive that movement to wherever it is we want it to go. Physiology behind it meaning that I'm not going to deliberately try and break my elbow. Right? The elbow will do certain things. It will not do certain things. Right? So I don't want it to be here. I'm okay with here, not here. Right? These kinds of things we want to pay attention to, and I will be talking about some of that next week. I appreciate you being here today. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, I'm here with Wudang's 3 basic methods and some more strengthening exercises. Thursday, Xingyi, and Friday, Qigong. Hope to see you then. Thanks.